Your camera angle impacts your style. What's up? What's new? What is happening out there, everybody? My name's Aaron, aka Feldy, over all the different social media platforms, and how is everybody doing today? Today I want to talk to you about using your camera and what you want to do with it as a way to influence your style. As you've noticed, I have my camera set so that I am the focal point, but I have a large amount of my background showing. At this point, I am letting my background be part of my personality. There are cool things to look at, there are cool things to pick up on, there's some writing that I've got on the wall, there's some different stuff, there's some professionalism, I have my ties, a prominent amount of my personality displayed on me whenever I move my chair, giving you a glimpse of something. And I've got some little stuff hanging around that indicate what I have. In contrast, if I have a camera positioned more on top of my monitor, I have a little bit that I can do with the background, but here my torso is the focal point. So in a setup similar to this, the vast majority of your style is going to come from your shirt, your face, and possibly your hands. So if you've got some prominent shirts that you want to work on, if you've got some notable facial piercings, or you've got yourself some jewelry for your ears, if you've got some tattoos, or you've got some cool things that you want to do with your arms, or you've got some accessories, this camera angle is going to work best for that. Now, in contrast, a camera angle such as this, and this is very difficult for me to look into the camera. So this one, I've got my camera angle off to the side looking downwards. This one is much more prominent for working, for seeing the area that I'm working on. So for this, I can definitely do some stuff with my shirt, but it's going to be much less of a focal point since you've got a shoulder-based view. I can do a lot more with my facial hair. As you can tell, the little goatee that I have here is much more prominent in this picture. But the things that you are going to notice most are the mouse pad that I have, in this case, a stylish playmat from Magic the Gathering Grand Prix Las Vegas that I got many years ago. It's of the card Vendilion Clique. I can also show off my mouse, which I am using a very, very basic $25 Logitech mouse, and I can show off my microphone, the pop filter, and if I wanted to adjust this a little bit more, I could show you some other paraphernalia that I have on my desk. So a camera angle like this is going to do great for letting sort of your workspace define your personality. Alright, next camera angle. I've got my camera set up really, really high with a very downwards look. For this one, I am trying to emphasize my outfit. So this one is very, very focused on what you are going to be wearing and giving you a high amount of variety for it. It is difficult if you're going to be streaming video games because you're probably going to be looking down a lot of the time and taking away from where you're able to look. Similarly, interacting with your the people over here is probably going to be looking downwards and looking away from the camera. Whereas if you set up your monitor sort of higher up, you can have yourself looking up and more interacting with people. This stance is going to be great for someone working in sort of a just chatting or a vlogging style, where they can continually look up at the camera and feel like they're interacting and show off a lot to people. As you can see, the necklace that I'm wearing is prominent, the shirt that I'm wearing is prominent, my face, I can adjust that slightly so that my hair would be. If you want your hair in the picture, fantastic. That would just be a simple matter of increasing, lowering yourself up. You can also start to bring make your chair part of your style in a case like this. Showing you guys off the cool chair. If you've got a fun gaming chair, if you've done some things to it, if you've if you've bedazzled it, if you've decked it out with cool things, if you've got a gaming chair, if you've got something fun. You can also make use of your pants, your shorts, any of your assorted leg wear. So something like this is going to be great if you've got some cool leggings that you want to show off. If you want to rock all the different socks, rock your socks. Totally unintended, I will take it. So for my next camera angle, I have my camera positioned low towards my desk, facing upwards, set beside my monitor. This camera, as you can tell, has a very strong facial look to it. You, again, get a little bit of the torso, a little bit of what you've got going on here, but this one's really face focused, as opposed to your clothing focused or background focused or even hand focused. So an angle like this one is going to be really good for intensity. If you are somebody who does either has some really great facial expressions, I mean, if you are Jim Carrey-esque level with your facial expressions and you can do great things right up near a camera, this would be insanely awesome for you. This is also going to be really good if you, like, intensely get into a match. Just like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Oh man, we gotta take that tower right now, and like, boom, got there! Any sort of intensity on that level is going to be good for you. One problem that this camera angle could present to you is going to be based on your basic hand movements. If you're in the midst of a game and your hands are sort of keyboard and mouse, you're pretty good. But if you start talking with your hands, you can see I am practically covering my face just by trying to emphasize some things with my hands. So if you have a natural predisposition towards, well, talking like this, or anything to that nature, this may not be a good camera angle to you. Now, if you primarily emphasize with your left hand, maybe positioning on your right is going to work for you. Again, this one's going to be great for something face-oriented, not great if you're going to have your personality or your style based more on your clothing. It could also be really useful to emphasize some of your headwear, and maybe really good if you want to make your headphones part of your personality. Because showing something off in here, even with something really basic, you can see what's going on. If I were to grab a pair of over-the-ear headphones, like that logo would be insanely prominent and wonderful, and probably a great advertising space if you ever wanted to think along those lines. All of these positions are thanks to me making use of a webcam mount, which I can use to position my webcam anywhere around my workspace. So if you have at least a little bit of leeway on where you have a bit of a desk, then I highly recommend that you look into getting yourself a cheap webcam stand or a cheap webcam mount. I will link the one below that I am making use of. Do make sure that your mount that you've chosen works with your chosen webcam. I'm running the basic most streamers and their streamers' dogs, and the camera designed to watch that dog in the background because your dog's more amazing than you are, let's be honest. I jest. The Logitech C920. So yeah, I just have it, found a mount that had it listed that it was compatible with, and then a simple clamp to the side of my desk just screwed in there. Then it's got two pieces that I can just position around in many different spots. So there you have it. Obviously, I presented a couple angles. There are a ton of different things. I mean, in many ways, you have got yourself, what is it? You've got 360 degrees around you, you've got 360 degrees that way, and you've got sort of the angle on that. So someone who's much better at math, please let me know how I'd actually decide that. But really, you've essentially got a sphere. Maybe the stuff below your desk is not going to work for you in that, but hey, maybe you want a weird up the periscope view. We'll leave that to maybe a different style of streams. But seriously, you've got an insane amount of space around you where you can position your camera, use it, and figure out which way best supports your personality and which one best supports your style. And you don't have to stick with it. And best yet, as you get going, you can potentially get yourself a second camera also set up on a mount that you could then switch back and forth for when you want to do different things. When you're gaming, you want to be intensely sort of looking however you're looking for your game setup, and then you can just switch yourself over to a different cam so that when you want a different view looking at people, that you can interact with them in a different way, suddenly you can do that. Now this camera is awful. This is an onboard camera for a laptop. You can definitely tell the huge difference between this and the Logitech C920 that I'm running. But I wanted to illustrate as a point that this one's going to give me a much different sort of look, and I can switch between the two without any difficulty. So there you have it. Tons of different styles that you can use to set up your webcam and how they can just emphasize different parts of your style, different parts of your personality, and even different ways that you wish to interact with your viewers, depending upon if you are video gaming, if you're video gaming intensely, casually, if you are in a just chatting scenario, if you are wanting to show things off, if you're wanting to interact with your background. So next, I want to hear from you. How do you position your webcam? After this video, have you been inspired? Have you started setting up? It is so cool to go into a stream and see someone doing something different. It almost instantaneously makes someone memorable compared to the hundreds, thousands, let's be honest, of people out there that just have their webcam mounted on their monitor. So yeah, sound off in the comments below what you do, what angle, and how you choose to pair that angle with your style. I would love to read that stuff from you guys. All right, my name's Aaron, aka Feldy on all the social media. Links roughly here, if I can manage to figure that out. I stream Sunday through to Wednesdays in the early afternoon or somewhere in the evening, depending upon where in the world you are located. All right, it's been wonderful chatting with you. We'll see you next time.